this meditation is for detoxing your brain, detoxing your nervous system, and detoxing your kidneys. So that is what this meditation will do. So in this video, I'm going to teach you holographic breathing, and we're going to do a guided meditation to work with the brain, the cranial sea, the kidneys, and the nervous system. So this should be deeply healing. I will first give a short description of holographic breathing. I will describe it again just before the meditation. But in holographic breathing, the lips are relaxed and closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and the breath is through the nose. And with the lips closed and the tongue on the roof of the mouth, on the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing. I will give a short demonstration of that so you can see what it's like. It's a very gentle, meditative, healing breathwork modality. So I'll just demonstrate it for a few breaths so you can see what it is. So it's an instant hit. There's an instant deep relaxation and kind of feel-good factor to it. You may not have even seen the movement of the jaw. It's small, it's half a finger width, 2 or 3 millimeters. It's not a very big movement, and it's slow, it's with the breath. But what you would have noticed was that the lips stay closed all of the time while the jaw is moving. Now, at the first part of the meditation, I will be teaching that to you because it's a bit counterintuitive. It's not so easy just to start. So we'll be taking you through a few exercises that will lead you into that, and then there's an activation, and that breathing just starts, and thereon after you will always be able to do that breathing. So all of my videos start with that. The first bit is learning holographic breathing, and then we go into the guided, more kind of visualization, feeling the energies through the system and the different things that are happening. And what we're going to be working with in this webinar is that as I said, the kidneys, the adrenals, the cranial sea, the ventricles, and the whole nervous system, for healing that whole area of ourselves. And I'm going to show you some pictures so that you have images of those areas so that you can easily slip into them in the meditation. If you want to go into this in a bit more depth, there will be a free webinar this Sunday. You can come to that. The link is below. If it's past the date of the webinar that you're watching this, the link below will be the recording of it, the free video recording of that webinar. But it's good to come and work with me live. You know, the whole different energy when you work with me live. I'm going to show you a few pictures to introduce the cranial C to you. Now, quite often when people think of the brain, it's this whole thing, but if you start looking at it through a microscope, it looks like a lot of seaweed, sea anemones floating in a sea. So hopefully that is enough in focus for you. These are astrocyte cells. They've got loads of tentacles that stick to everything. This is a neuron. These are the myelin sheath or myelinating glial cells. These are microglial cells, and it's like they're swimming in this sea. They're like this seaweed floating in this sea of cranial C. And this is a ventricle, so there's no seaweed in the ventricle. It is just cranial C. So there's this cranial C flowing through the whole brain, and it is a sea. It's 99% water, and then the main constituent is salt, so it's salt water. It's 99% water, and then the last 1% is salt, glucose, oxygen. There'll also be carbon dioxide as that oxygen is used up. There'll also be toxins being released. But our image of the brain won't be this solid thing. It will be this sea that is floating through. The brain is 99% water, is 90% water. The cranial sea is 99% water. In the ventricles, this is the lower, this will be the face here. This is the lower part of the cranium. You've got these ventricles, which are like big cisterns full of just cranial C without any seaweed or cells in them. I'm just trying to get these pictures to go on my knee without falling off. So here we have those ventricles within the whole brain. You've got two lateral ventricles, a central ventricle going off down the spine. So this is all seaweed in C. This is C here, and that goes down the spine. Here they are with the lower brain. This is the cerebellum. This is the central brain stem. Two lateral ventricles. This is the thalamus, this central ventricle. Fourth ventricle is this diamond, and then it goes down the spine. So this is all seaweed. These are open vents full of C, cranial C. I'm not sure if you can see that so well. These from the front, the diamond, and then it goes off down the centre of the spine from the side. To me, it's like Mr. and Mrs. E.T. And here we have how they mirror the kidneys and adrenals. You've got the adrenals on top. Here we have the kidneys. We have the tubes, the bladder, the urethra coming down here. So here we have the kidneys, and here we have the ventricles. So I don't know if that will stay in focus, but there it is a bit closer. So they match each other. There's a kind of bit of sacred geometry to these pictures. So I'm just going to show you the pictures because they're lateral ventricles. There's two of them. And that is the cerebrum. That's the top part of the brain, and that is where they are. I wonder if I got any other pictures here that I didn't show you. There's one. Here we have the spinal cord here, and then here we have a nerve going off down through the nerve capillaries going off down through the nerves, and the cranial C can just flow down that. Now we will go into more detail in the free webinar or in the video in the description, or it will be at the end of this. If it's finished, there will be a link at the end of it. Click on that link and it will be in more detail. There'll be a more in-depth view of all of this. This is very useful. I teach this to cranial sacral therapy schools. It's a new vision of how this whole area works. I am the person who's initiated that vision. These are my paintings. So that is all there. So, and we will be looking at this because these ventricles, they mirror the kidneys and adrenals, and the kidneys and adrenals and the ventricles kind of mirror or have the energy of the nerves traveling out. And the kidneys are taking toxins out of the body. In the ventricles, one of the things the ventricles does is they take the toxins from the whole brain, or the whole brain. There's the cranial seeds flowing into these ventricles. They're full of carbon dioxide and toxins because the cranial seed has been used by the cell, and it flows into these systems. And there's a thing called the choroid plexus, which has loads of capillaries and venous capillaries, and the venous capillaries can take away the carbon dioxide and the toxins. And then that goes to the heart, gets pumped through the lungs, carbon dioxide comes out, gets pumped back to the heart, pumps it out, and about a quarter of that goes to the kidneys, and the kidneys take the toxins out, and we pee that out. And also the cranial seeds flowing through the heart. See, it's a lot to do with elimination. It's a lot to do, this meditation is a lot to do with detoxing the brain, detoxing the nervous system, detoxing the kidneys, and also the cranial seeds flowing out through the nerves, through the nerve capillaries, which are the myelinating glial cells going out. And then it escapes out of that with the carbon dioxide, with the toxins. And it flows into the lymph, or it flows into the venous blood, and that flows back to the heart. We breathe out the carbon dioxide, gets pumped to the kidneys. Kidneys take out the toxins. So this meditation is for detoxing your brain, detoxing your nervous system, and detoxing your kidneys. So that is what this meditation will do, and we will take that into more depth in the free webinar. There's a link in the description below. You can come to the free webinar, or there's a link to the video, so you can watch the video of it. But we're detoxing the brain, we're detoxing the kidneys. It also gets pumped to the liver, but we're mainly detoxing the kidneys, we're detoxing the whole nervous system and the energy of the nervous system and the energy of the kidneys and adrenals. So a quick demonstration and a quick description and demonstration of holographic breathing again, and then we will go into the meditation. So you don't have to remember this, because I'm going to talk you into it in the meditation, so you will learn this in the meditation, and then we will be working with the kidneys, the cranial sea, and the brain. So the lips are relaxed and closed, the breath is through the nose, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing, That is done with the lips closed and the tongue on the roof of the mouth all of the time. A small, relaxed motion of the jaw. There is an activation where that just becomes your natural breath. So I'm going to demonstrate it for a bit. Deeply relaxing. As you may have noticed, the lips stay closed even though there's this very subtle motion of the jaw. For new people, best to do this seated because it's very easy to fall asleep. I channel, and that knocks people out. You know, spiritual energies come to me. Spiritual energies, your connection to the spiritual energies will start coming to you. Deeply relaxing, and you need to stay awake. You need to stay conscious until the activation, until the holographic breathing just feels natural. If you fall asleep before that point, you wait, you know, a miss is as good as a mile. You're not doing it if you miss the activation. If you do fall asleep before, just play the meditation again. Once it's going, once it's really natural, you can lie down, do it however you want. Okay, we are going to start. We are going to detox our brain and our nervous system. Just as a thought, people think of the nervous system as this very solid thing, and how do you detox it? But with the visualizations and the pictures I've given you, it's full of fluid, it's full of cranial C. The nerves are full of cranial C. I haven't got any pictures of cross sections of the nerves, but these myelinating glial cells that become the myelin sheath, they all join together and become the myelin sheath. These are kind of spirals or coils of cranial C. They're more than 50% cranial C, and it flows down these and it flows between these. So they're fluid. The nerves are fluid, so easily detoxed. All right, we're going to start. Closing your eyes. And to start off with, we're going to bring in some resources. So, sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allow the earth to say hello back. And notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and beneficial energies, and allowing the higher self and beneficial energies to say hello back. The beneficial energies are any divine intelligences, divine energies, subtle realms, divine teachers, anything beneficial from the divine realms that you wish to work with. So sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies, and allowing the higher self and the beneficial energies to say hello back. Notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And asking the higher self, the beneficial energies, the earth, to be with you as your resource or resources through the whole meditation. Okay, we're going to start learning the holographic breathing, and then we will progress into the meditational part. So bringing the lips together and bringing the upper surface of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Tip of the tongue will be close to or touching the front teeth, and as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. So it may be half an inch of the tongue, it may be a whole inch, or maybe the whole tongue on the roof of the mouth, but it must feel comfortable. You must be able to move your jaw and still have your tongue on the roof of the mouth. Okay, and then start just opening and closing the jaw just vertically, a small amount up and down, a bit like chewing, so you get the experience that you can move the jaw with the lips closed. And then slowing that motion down, then as the jaw is gently opening, letting the breath come in through the nose, and as the jaw is gently closing, letting the breath leave through the nose. So the jaw is gently opening, the lips stay closed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth, the breath is drawing in through the nose. The jaw is gently closing, the breath is exhaling through the nose. The jaw relaxes open, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed, the breath comes out through the nose. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the head. The upper surface of the tongue is on the roof all of the time, and the lips are closed all of the time. The jaw relaxes open, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed, the breath leaves through the nose. As you're breathing out, the jaw is closing, the teeth are coming together, the teeth gently float together. There's no pressure, they just gently touch or stay very slightly separate. So even though you're closing the jaw, or the jaw is relaxing closed on the out breath, no pressure on the teeth. jaw relaxes open, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed, the breath leaves through the nose. And breathe. Now we're going to change the emphasis of that, bringing the emphasis now to the nose and the breath first. So we swap it round. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Breathing in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips stay closed all of the time. Breathing in, the lungs, the chest are opening, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the chest is closing, the jaw follows. Breathing in, the abdomen opens, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the abdomen closes, the jaw relaxes closed. Breathe right down into your pelvis, breathing in, the pelvis opening to the sides, the jaw relaxing open. Breathing out, the pelvis closing laterally towards the middle. The jaw is relaxing closed. The whole torso relaxes open, the jaw follows. Breathing out, the whole torso relaxes closed, the jaw follows. Notice in a very subtle way your whole face has started to breathe. Your brain, your cranium has started to breathe. Your neck and throat have started to breathe. These areas that don't normally have a strong breath start a deep and intrinsic breath. In the same way as the body is breathing, the face, the cranium and brain start to breathe. You feed it out through your arms, your legs, your hands and feet. Holographic breathing has started. Notice how nurturing it feels, how deeply relaxing it is, how spiritually communicating it is, how you can connect with the divine, how you can connect with the earth. And breathe. Being aware of the sideways motion of the face and cranium opening out to the sides as you breathe in, closing immediately as you breathe out. Opening out to the sides as you breathe in, closing immediately as you breathe out. And underneath the cranium, you've got the brain, and you've got all of this cranial sea between every cell. There's all of this cranial sea. It's like the whole brain, the whole cranium is full of cranial sea, and all of the cells of the brain are like seaweed floating in the cranial sea. There's these large ventricles, kind of big open sinuses full of cranial C. And those sinuses are a bit like lungs, but if you sit back, they're a bit more like kidneys. Notice how those big lateral ventricles connect you to your kidneys. And cranial C flows down from the brain through the spinal cord, flows out down through all of the nerves. Notice how the nerves and the cranial C and the nerves seem to connect to the kidneys and adrenals. The big lateral ventricles, and all of the ventricles seem to relate to the kidneys, the adrenals, the bladder, and the urethra. It's also the vagina and penis. Breathing, feeling your ventricles, feeling your cranial C in its blue quality of the kidneys, the adrenals, and the nervous system. And breathe. And this cranial C flowing out through the nerves. So it's half cranial C, half membranes as it flows out through the myelinating capillaries, the myelin sheath, myelinated rivers of cranial C, spirals and coils of cranial C, down through your arms, your legs, your whole body. Big ventricles in the brain. The ventricles receive the carbon dioxide, the toxins, and then this is received into the venous blood in the coryplexus, which is at the bottom of the ventricles, or the inside face of the ventricles. And this flows back to the heart. And then it releases its oxygen out through the lungs. You pump to the kidneys, and all of those toxins from the brain are filtered out through your kidneys and away. So this is how your brain and nervous system detoxify. And cranial C flows off down through the nerves. And then from the nerves flows out with all of the carbon dioxide, all of the toxins, flows out into the lymph and into the venous blood. And this flows back to the heart, goes through the lungs, releases the carbon dioxide, gets oxygen, comes back to the heart, and gets pumped to the kidneys. All of the toxins get removed, and then it's pumped back to the heart again to be circled out as new blood to the brain, to the whole body. So this is how your brain and nervous system detox. This blue energy of the ventricles, this blue energy of the kidneys, adrenals, bladder and urethra, the blue energy of the nerves, blue water. Notice how the venous blood is also blue. The blue energy detox system goes out through the tubes to the bladder, and then the urethra, through the penis, down through the vagina or along the vagina, and out, detoxifying your brain, detoxifying your nerves through your whole body. You can let your body detoxify. And breathe. Letting everything detoxify. Letting everything relax. Letting everything breathe. Letting your nervous system relax. Letting your nervous system detoxify. And breathe. Okay, we're going to come back in about a minute. So just gently breathing, allowing your brain, allowing your cranial seed to detoxify. The nerves, cranial seed in the nerves to detoxify. Letting everything relax and let go. And gently allowing yourself to become more grounded. And sending a thank you to the earth, a thank you to the higher self and the beneficial energies. And a thanking yourself. And letting the energies go off for love and healing back to the earth. For love and healing, letting the energies go back for love and healing to the higher self and beneficial energies, and allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. So we got that free webinar on Sunday. If it is past that point, if you're watching this video past that point, there's a recording in the description below, and there'll be a link at the end of this video taking you to the recordings, free recordings. In that free webinar, I'll also be showing how to clear microplastics, these tiny bits of plastic that gets into our system, out of the brain and out of the nervous system. I'll be talking about that whole thing. That will be included in that, how that clears and how this helps that. And I'll be giving a special tip on how to clear microplastics out of your whole system without breath work, just a general tip that will take your microplastics down by 40%. So register for that free video or free webinar or free video and come along. If you've liked this video, please like and share, subscribe and follow. All right, I think that's it. Thank you for joining. Do more. I've got loads of videos, loads of meditations. I have advanced webinars where we go into this in far more depth, far more powerfully. These are on Sundays. You can go to my website. There's a link in the description below. Come along to those. I'll be starting a practitioner training round about September time as well. All right. Thank you so much. That is it for today. All right. Love you and leave you. Okay. Bye.